Welcome, everyone. Welcome, y'all. What's going on? I'm gonna give y'all a few to hop up in this live so we can get into this message as Venus retrograde is closing out that cycle by the 29th. Does have a shadow phase thereafter. Let me allow y'all to enter the room. Welcome. Don't forget to like, share this video with whomever you feel would benefit from these messages at this moment. Grab yourself a pencil, pen, paper, so that way you're able to jot down whatever feelings and thoughts may come across, so that way you can, you know, get that work in. Hello, my love. Welcome. We are really going to be tapping into this Venus energy, okay? Because the whole purpose of it being retrograde is to really see what it is that you've been attracting based on what you've been putting out there. So let me just give y'all to about 2 minutes and then we'll get started. So we'll get started in about a few seconds here. And while you're in here, go ahead and take your deep breaths. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. Thank you, Source. Let's go ahead and activate this energy here. And I'm going to do so. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Venus, the ruler of Libra and Taurus. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mars and Pluto, the ruler of Aries and Scorpio, but also the energies where Venus is at its detriment. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, where Venus is exalted or praised. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mercury and Chiron, the ruler of Virgo, but also where Venus is at its fall. And with that, I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the 7 universes, the 144 sectors of each universe, 144,000 galaxies of each sector, 144 million constellations of each galaxy, the 12 solar systems of each constellation, and the 12 planets of each solar system. Ashe, Amun Ra, Aibobo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Source. All right, we good now. We more than good. So let's start with Venus being the part of you, like it says here, that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and value to do. But before doing, there's also Mars and Pluto, Aries and Scorpio, where you experience situations that may test your core values as it relates to the part of you that desires this beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. Now, Venus rules the second house and the seventh house. The second house has to do with your assets, finances, and the things that you value. And the seventh house talks about the area of your life that is about long-term significant partners. And you know these long-term significant partners, romantic, business, or family, or all three. So, when Venus went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn as of December 19th, it happened in the energy of the Ten of Wands. So, look at when Venus went retrograde. Look at this energy. We know the Ten of Wands to be a card of holding on to a lot that could be a burden until one sees what they are actually responsible for and shedding which does not serve them. Okay. The other side of this card here, because this is the vice versa deck, this is all about leaving what no longer serves and dropping the burdens and only holding on to which that serves your core purpose, your values. And this is what brings forth the emotional security. When you have emotional security, you're now able to make wise decisions, or decisions for that matter in general. Venus retrograde, okay, it really shows you your mirrored souls, what it is that you've been attracting as far as what you've been putting out, and showing you that your relationships are a reflection of your inner world. For you to realize that change begins with you. Okay. Now, when Venus goes direct on the 29th, okay, of this month, that is connected to Venus in Aquarius. Aquarius has a lot to do with social relationships, and where it started the retrograde phase in the sign of Sag, which has a lot to do with you seeking, okay, because Sagittarius is the seeker of truths. So you see where this is going. And Sagittarius is a fire element. We know the fire element to be the element of the Ace of Wands, which is all about ambition, enthusiasm, personal growth, fortune, okay, spiritual balance. And the Ace of Wands is actually connected to Aries. Now, Aries, when Venus is in Aries, is at its detriment, meaning there's some challenges there. Also in the sign of Scorpio, okay? Because Aries is all about the I am. Scorpio is about I transform, also connected to desires when it comes to one's sexuality. And if any of you are familiar with the mythology of Inanna, this is what this is. Okay? Inanna descends into the underworld, stripped of all of her royal garments and jewels, and then struck dead by her own sister, but later on resurrects through the workings of Father Enki with the help of her most humble servant, Nin Shubal, Nin Shubu. So here we have a story behind this energy as well. But the fact that Venus retrograde has this conjunction to Pluto, here we have more of destruction happening when it comes to analyzing these mirrored souls. Does that sound like it's going to be a peaceful time? Not at all. But you have to make sure that you create that sacred space to really, put all these puzzle pieces together, because a lot can come to the surface, and much of what comes to the surface may be from, your own bloodline or past generations that you're going to have to put into their place. And this is where forgiveness comes in, because that is going to be the only way for you to complete this cycle, because Capricorn is connected to Saturn in karmic cycles, as well as your achievements in the outside world when it comes to Saturn. Okay, so going back to the Venus retrograde dates, when it started, we have here the Ten of Wands. And I'm actually going to read from the text what this Ten of Wands is showing here, okay? Just to give you some let's see. Here it goes. The Ten of Wands here, right? It's a poor laborer carries a large bundle of staves upon his back. He is bent low under the weight of his burden, but he must keep going despite his exhaustion. His destination is a manor house not too far away. Rain clouds are sweeping in, and there is no time to lose if he is going to get the wood under cover before the storm breaks. The staves are not his property, just his responsibility. Okay? When we're talking about property, we're really talking about that fourth house energy too, that Cancerian energy, your feelings. So it says here, the staves are not his property, just his responsibility. And this is connected to Saturn. Your responsibility is the frequency of all of this burden that comes towards you and the way you connect to it. And the beauty of Venus in Capricorn retrograde right now is that it allows you to be swift to listen and slow to speak. Because Venus is all about doing more of what somebody else does and putting yourself to the side. Which is why Venus in Aries is also at its detriment, because Aries is all about I'm doing what I want. Okay? But everything has its purpose once you strategically connect the dots. Right? Now let's look at what this means as far as the text here. It says this card is a sure sign that you have taken on too much and that it is wearing you down. Like the laborer, you may feel you have no choice in the matter, that you are indispensable, and you must persevere no matter the personal cost. Serious burnout will take much longer to recover from than just taking a break. Delegate some of your tasks and entrust some of your burden to others, or risk losing it all. So a lot's being put to the test in this entire energy, where you also have to determine where you can entrust some of your burden to others. And for some, that is the biggest lesson in this Venus Capricorn retrograde. That you must first start with connecting with the God intelligence within you to really discern who, what, when, where, and why you can entrust some of these burdens. Okay? There's so much that's being downloaded right now as I'm saying all of this. So it's just allow me to grasp whatever you want me to tell the collective here. When Venus goes direct on the 29th, and there's always a shadow, pre-shadow and post-shadow when planets go retro. Okay. On the 29th of January, Venus goes direct. And that is connected to the Five of Swords. Now look at this Five of Swords. Okay. But the fact that Venus is going direct, this is more so of putting these two together, which is 15, which is still actually, that would be the the major arcana card for Capricorn, which is the devil, which is a strong will to hold on to things that are limiting you or has you in fear, which is false evidence appearing real. Like the shit ain't even there, but you're making it appear as if it is. And only source know how long you've been telling yourself a certain story, okay, that will have you holding on to this as your property rather than your responsibility. It's kind of like differentiating between your job and your work. Because I like to see it as you can apply for your job. When it comes to your work, that's connected to your soul, it's unique to you. But the job allows you to endure the process of gaining those skills, so you're able to see clearly what those core values are in connection to the harmony and peace that you seek with these social relationships outside of you, as it relates to what it is that you're willing to create. Come through, source. Okay. Now the other side of this Five of Swords is the following. Let's look at what this story is saying here. Because in one instance, that's that burnout from holding on to stuff. That's the burnout. And then you have that instance where you have the burnout, but then you also have energies around you that see that you're burnt out. But here it comes where you would have to really discern what this means. You're burnt out, you need to heal, but you're expected to pour from an empty cup. This is where Venus retrograde in Capricorn is saying enough is enough. Okay, so let's see what this Five of Swords indicates in the text here. On this side, a warrior stands tall in the sunlit landscape holding swords taken from his conquered enemy. He clearly finds satisfaction in the defeat of his foes. More swords lie at his feet, where an exhausted comrade has fallen to the ground. The battle is over, and they have won, but the castle for which they fought is in ruins. When you get this side of this message, it says here, victory has come at a price that may seem too dear for rewards gained. Psychologically, you may be feeling depleted, especially if the struggle has made you doubt your ethical center. That's your soul, your core values. Okay, where Venus just does what others want. But when it's in balance, in a beautiful balance with Mars in its polar opposite, here we have the Empress. Okay, so winning a battle you're not completely convinced is righteous only gives satisfaction in the moment. On the other side, night has fallen. The warrior watches as a cloaked man walks away toward a dark and forbidden land. The warrior has captured all the swords, but now what? The cloaked man leaves empty handed, and the victor is overburdened with responsibility. So now, let's continue to see what this means here from the text. Assess how this side of the card makes you feel. Because the purpose for this message that I'm putting out for this live here is to really assist the collective to close out whatever cycles may still be weighing heavily on you that's not allowing you to fully step into your full power. Okay? It says how this side of the card makes you feel. Do you want to walk away from the situation even if it means you give up what you have gained? Or do you want to move on to the next battle? Both choices presents challenges and require courage. When Venus completely goes through the shadow phase once it goes direct, 1 week in, it'll be at the Nine of Cups. That week, it will be at the Nine of Cups that it goes direct after the shadow phase, which is Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is currently in Pisces, and Jupiter in Pisces energy is really doing a lot of this work in a dream state or doing your visions at rest. Because your dreams are visions. They're just in a different realm. Okay? That's the whole thing with the spiritual journey. As you continue to get higher in frequency of what that truly means, you begin to see the abilities you would have when it comes to purifying oneself, or even seeing how your ascended masters and your galactic ancestors step into that realm and clear things out. And these may be certain visions that you can only tell to yourself, because it's going to be something where people are not going to believe you. Again, Pisces is all about I believe. Okay. And Christ consciousness was something that you would read through the Piscean age, through different religious texts. Now, the Piscean age was where a lot was hidden. We are now in the age of Aquarius, which is all about being mindful and aware to step into this higher consciousness, that which is connected to the infinite source, whatever it is, right? That really created all that is that we are connected to until we connect to it. We are connected to it, but until we decide that we know we connect to it. And in the knowing comes the willing. Hence it being the age of Aquarius, also the golden age, because the polar opposite to Aquarius is Leo, fifth house energy. But going back to Venus retrograde here. Okay. Welcome those of you who are just entering. With Venus in retrograde, right? As mentioned before, it really shows you what you've been attracting based on what you've been putting out. So now we have this moment of self-realization or self-revelation, but this comes through introversion and isolation. Because if you watch the other video before this one, that's what actually came out, strength. What's funny is that that's the year of the tiger as of the 1st of February, which is also the new moon in Aquarius, the tiger. And the tiger is connected also to the energies of the pineal gland or the mind's eye. While also being in the North Node in Taurus for the next 18 months, which is Venus energy, or the Empress, or the King of Pentacles, right? So Venus retrograde right now is basically setting up the foundation for higher vibration, higher vibrational connections with partners, whether it be romance, like it says here, romance, business, or family. So a lot has to be removed, okay, in order for the new to come on in. Because when Jupiter entered Pisces, that first decan of Pisces is all about walking away from things that no longer serve you, or the Eight of Cups energy, or Saturn in Pisces. So if you're someone with Saturn in Pisces in your natal chart, that's basically what your energy is about. But also look at the degrees of it, because it may have something to do with walking away from certain philosophies or certain ways of taking action, or the way you handle your appearance, the way you handle your temperament and your life force through faith and not by sight. So, really having trust, faith, and knowing that no matter what it is that you step away from, you're going to something that is for your highest purpose, and it will always turn out the way it was intended to because it is for your highest purpose, right? So, the last time Venus was retrograde was actually June 13th to July 25th of 2020, and this was during a time where flirting and connecting with people was more of a sapiosexual thing because of the shutdown, right? So that was also part of, see, I tell you, the way astrology just maps everything out, and if you're aware of it and you really, tap into it, you can see things clearly. And this is part of where you may want others to see it too, but not everybody's on that vibe. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth of this Venus and Capricorn energy that you're coming to realize too. Because Venus in retrograde in Capricorn is really having you be still and make a decision when you're able to get more information. Once you handle whatever is internally out of balance, because you're not going to make, I mean, you can, but let me let that go through. I'll show you. You can, as I'm about to mention, Aries energy or the root. You have the sirens passing through. Archangel Michael, Michael, cutting cords in order for you to drop the weight. Okay? This is not your property, it's just your responsibility. And what that's saying is energy can't be created nor destroyed. Your responsibility is the frequency you choose to connect to it. Is it going to be high or low? If it's high, that means you're swift to listen and slow to speak. If it's low, you're swift to listen and quick to speak. And that low frequency energy is only connected to the root. There is no light, there is no soul. However, there is a balance to it all. But again, the balance is the dark and the light, not just one and the other, one or the other, right? So, ideally enough, we have Aphrodite over here with this Venus energy on the other side of this 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups will be during March 11th, March 12th. And 10 of Cups is all about internally being emotionally fulfilled and secure because you were able to handle whatever limitations you may have had when it comes to the truth about your core values, about what's going on around you. And when you do that, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables in the area of your life that has to do with your assets, finances, and the things that you love, and the area of your life that is about long term significant partners, romance, business, or family, starts to also be balanced. But each one is accountable for where they're at when it comes to this energy, Ashe. Because, like I said, forgiveness is for self. Each one is accountable for their own forgiveness. It's not for the other person. It is for you to be able to realize what your responsibility is. And that is to heal oneself, to address whatever it is that's going on within that has been boiling within and has been ignored for however source knows it's been, held on to and not taken from under the root or taken from under the rug and keeps being swept under the rug like that shit is okay. It's not. Okay. because these are the things that get passed down from generation to generation, but it comes down to a specific generation to handle it. And that generation may not have a blueprint because prior generations have been sweeping shit under the rug. Now we have to, if that's happening, now we have to question for real, because now that comes down to the ignorance, right? Because that's not living by the principles of mind. And excuse me for saying right, because it's really about cause and effect here. But I'm gonna allow Source to continue to speak. Let's pull some messages here. May that information give you all clarity as to what this energy is, because anything that you want to change outside of you has to start first with you. And through those changes, you're going to discover a lot about yourself. Yes, that shit's going to tear you up, but get through it. That's the only way you can accomplish things or rise to a higher level or have this spiritual evolutionary growth is by handling self and really handling those situations, because they go through you. They're not happening to you. This is the planet for the soul to have growth, not to be all high and listen. Human beings are small compared to everything else that is outside of this world. You can see it in nature. Checkmate. Feel me? So let's see what the message is. Connecting my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Venus. Now, Venus in the sign of Virgo, okay? It's at its fall because this will be a space where you'll find yourself overthinking that leads to self-sabotage of what it is that you know or believe. The polar opposite to that would be Pisces. Once you're able to connect to the polar opposite of Virgo, which is Pisces, for it to be a rise from the fall, this is now you connecting to your psychic and mystical capacity, your dreams or those visions that you have that's allowing you to really allow the soul to grow, your spirit to grow, right? Which is also connected to your personal health. Because any earth sign is connected to the physical, but it balances out with that which is mystical or water and air, which is the age of Aquarius, which is the mind, which is the soul. Because your mind and the brain are two different things. Come through, Source. Ooh. All right, what are the messages here for the collective as it relates to Venus retrograde and closing out these cycles, these karmic cycles, so that way the spirit can grow and the heart can be set free? Source, what is the message for the collective? Ashe, ashe, ashe. We had 34 minutes. That's the Empress and the Emperor, which is basically Venus and Aries. So, but it's a balance. It's a reset. Let's go. Let's go, collective. What's the message here, Source, for the collective as they close out this cycle? Let's close this out. Breaking soul ties. Come on. We have here music for manifesting. Let's see what song is playing right now. Give the people what they want. That's so Venus like. The OJs. Under that, you got protection. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. So continue to do that work of whatever it is that's coming to the surface, okay? So that way you can clear it out. So that way no generation before you and those before, no other generation after you and those before you can actually get healed. Okay. So let's see. What's the message here for the collective to close out the cycles? We have father healing and yes. Capricorn, Saturn energy, that's the grandfather's energy too. So this could be this could even go back to the old ways of the way women and men or masculines and feminine coexisted, where it seems more like the feminine energy is the worker of the masculine. That's not how they go. Because the ascended master that you read about in the Bible, he cooked too. So, father healing. Your personal power increases as you give any father related issues to heaven. Okay, Book of Enoch is coming through strong here. Then we also have yes. Your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. Tell me more about this source. Recognition. Take action accordingly about what it is that you're recognizing. And as it says here, your personal power increases when you release the limitations that has been posed upon you or imposed upon you or projected onto you. Okay? Because the one thing with the age of Pisces, it was all about fearing God or that it's a jealous God. That's not a high frequency. That ain't God. Okay? So tell me more for the collective here. Let yourself receive and soulmate relationship. Ashe. Once you get all of this cleared out, here you have a true divine soulmate connection. Mirrored souls. Now that mirrored soul can still reflect, nonsense if you're not doing the work. But if you're doing the work and you're releasing these limitations and allowing yourself to receive here, allow others to give you loving care, receive without guilt or apologies. You can see this energy here when it comes to receiving. You have to be mindful if it's something that has been that's an overdoing of giving love, because that is codependency. That's connected to attachment from the lack of love from a paternal figure, possibly. Okay, especially for divine feminines. If you're going through these processes, and that divine feminine is within the masculine too, and this is why these cycles keep going, where it's not coming from a higher realm or higher consciousness, right? Because God is love, unconditional love. God is awakening. God is ambition. That's what that is. So allow yourself to receive the higher IQ or intelligence of the messages that are being through you going through this process of self-knowledge, which comes through introversion or isolating oneself, because that's when you enter the cocoon so you can fly. And being in the cocoon is about 2 weeks. That chrysalis stage is about 2 weeks for a butterfly. Okay. But we have here a new romance with spiritual basis is here for you now, collective. Right now. Why right now? As you're listening to this message, that's why. Because you're hearing something. The cells within your body are firing off and remembering, okay, the primordial essence of what love actually is. So, yes, your intuition is correct. That still voice is always correct. But it's through limitations that this inner still voice cannot be heard. right? And being swift to listen and swift to speak rather than swift to listen and slow to speak. Reaction versus response. Ashe. Let's continue. Tell me more here. We have stay optimistic and self employment. For some of you, even once, getting all of this under your control through your understanding and realizing that the change begins with you. Understanding is a self doing job. Understanding doesn't happen between you and another person. Understanding is something you do for yourself. Because everyone has their own views. Doesn't matter how long you've been around anyone or where you come from or who your parents are, who your aunties are, who your cousins are. It don't matter. None of that shit matter. Your understanding is a self-doing job. So that way you can connect to your work, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which is the Virgo card when it comes to mutable signs. And Venus is at its fall in the sign of Virgo, because there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to analyze, because a lot of these situations may play out in the work field if it wasn't addressed in the main foundation. That's the beauty of the universe, how it co-creates. So self-employment and stay optimistic. Let yourself receive the knowledge that is coming through, the wisdom that is coming through from the obstacles and challenges, because also with Virgo, ruled by Chiron, once you come up with a solution to that deepest wound, here's where you step into your work. You have to keep building on it, keep working, keep building. 22, 2022, that's what that is. North Node is in Taurus. Taurus is the builder, the master builder. So that way, when the North Node goes into Aries now, you want a beautiful adventure collective. Okay? So it says here, stay optimistic. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. So be still, especially if you're in a space where you're unable to make a decision, you find yourself going back and forth, be still. Don't do nothing just yet. Allow yourself to listen to when your body is saying yes and when it's saying no. And when you're able to do that, that means you're having more confidence in your soul, being more connected to the heart space, that inner voice, and not something that's outside of you before you even handle what it is that's within you that could be blocking you from trusting yourself. Okay. So let's get some of these messages here to go with this. What song we got on now? Tell me something good. Ashe. Tell the collective something good. Tell the collective something good. And notice how these are being laid out right here. The moment you give any limited or limiting issues up to source, your personal power increases for you to connect to your entrepreneurship, for you to ride on that entrepreneurship. Because you're surrounded right now by that magical opportunity to do so. Magi, that's you, your image. But you have to know what your life force is, the I am. Ashe. And we have yes, soulmate relationship. And let yourself receive, stay optimistic, because your dreams are coming true. Your visions are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs, because right before it occurs, 44:33 on the timer, it gets a lot more chaotic, but chaos brings change. Chaos is melanin. 44:44 on the timer right now. Signs and synchronicities. Look at that. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. The energy is speeding up now. Okay. So let's see what we got. Tell me something good for the collective source. Give me a couple messages here. Tell me something good for the collective. Tell me something good for the collective. Tell me something divine for the collective. Not good, divine. Ashe. That was just a song. Here we go. And all this cleaning up that you're doing from whatever it is that's not allowing you to have this emotional security, you may feel, some type of way in terms of possibly feeling regret for what you're doing, but that's adding more of a load. That is not your responsibility for the way others see, the way you have to heal yourself. Because you're only going to be hurting yourself even more. On some real, real. Welcome, Goddess. What's the message here for the collective source? Okay. We have here, baby, Ashe, cardinal, new beginnings, rapid growth, fresh start, unlimited potential, innocent, continuing the legacy. Yes. Yes, because when Mercury goes direct, it will actually be in the Four of Pentacles, which is all about you stepping away to ground yourself to rebuild. So this is ideal, y'all. Okay. So this is all about nurturing, Ashe, nurturing this new phase. And to nurture doesn't mean to overwater, right? This could also be the birth of a child for some of you, and also the first stages of you being able to be vulnerable, because you can't enter a soulmate relationship without being vulnerable. Then we have here chocolate, beautiful, satisfaction, perfection, love, romance again, okay? Treating yourself, sweet, rich, smooth, splurge, aphrodisiac, the good stuff. Said, tell me something good. Said the good stuff. Fine dining, do things right, therefore cause and effect. Okay, celebration and elevated mood. So here we have really taking the lead to balance things out, because you have Libra here and Libra here. So this is really connecting to this Venus energy, Ashe. And then we have it's time at the bottom of the deck. It's time to transform. It's time for action. Things are fast tracked to unfold quickly and smoothly. Wow. Yes. Okay. Let's close this message with a message from the hidden worlds. Message from the hidden worlds for the collective. Message from the hidden worlds for the collective as it relates to Venus in retrograde, Capricorn, to close out these cycles. Come through, source. It's went retro when it was in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, which is all about expansive principles, fortune, philosophy, seeking one's truth, and then connecting that to where you may have had limitations, self-imposed or projected fears. Okay, where you may have been delayed, but that does not mean that your what it is that you want is being denied. It's just delayed for the scales to be balanced. Okay, just weighing things out. Even when you fly out, there's a certain amount of load you can carry. Anything else above that amount of weight, you have to pay for. Okay. What is the message here for the collective to close out this wonderful message? Thank you, Source. What's this? full moon temple. And the next full moon is in the sign of Leo. This is beautiful, and it's all about celebration, peak, and transcendent moment. This was definitely a transcendent moment. The way these messages was coming out. Look at that. Spirit of spring is at the bottom of the deck. Freedom, action, and power. Yes. Here we go. Full moon temple 27, which is basically the high priestess in the chariot. So your soul is on fire and is going beyond the limitations because you're now connecting to the spirit and all that is. This is the highest form of your spirit that is connected to the soul and all that is. Because once you recognize who you are, your life force and vitality is when you are prepared to enter the chariot of ascension or the Merkaba. But you must be centered in order to do so. Okay? 27. The time has come to celebrate an achievement, a moment of glory and beauty. This is on page 88. The time has come to celebrate an achievement, a moment of glory and beauty, to recognize the sublime blessing that is with you. It is time to step up, to set up an altar within the home, to sing the praises of the Spirit, and to give thanks for all that you have. Now, going back to setting up an altar, remember that the ultimate altar is you. You are the ultimate altar, and anything else outside of you is a reflection of that. Okay? It says, look around and know that in every moment of gratitude lies a key which unlocks more gifts, that opens the gate and allows the awaiting treasures of life to find their way to you. It is time to build a temple to the fullness of your spirit, just as this moon is full and this temple has been created to expand her energy and amplify it. So, too, when you build an altar or create a space within your life for gratitude, celebration, joy, glad union with others, the beauty of life grows more apparent, seems more present, and can be felt with every light tread of your feet upon the blissed earth, or planet Kai, rather. Put down the work and carve out this time. Commit to celebrating. Doesn't say interest, be interested in. It says commit to celebrating your life and recognizing the milestones of your personal soul quest along the way. Take time. Time is the body, it shows you the changes it goes through. So remember, you are that altar. Take time to create a sacred space, be it an altar or a room or a home that is safe and nurturing space for you. Life must have its moments to delight in, and you must now find a way to bring into existence a celebration of what you have done in making it so far, dear one. I share, receive this message. Celebrate your life. We of the hidden worlds do, for you are a hopeful and unique creature. And when you remember this, you will feel the tide of pleasure sweep through you once again, reawakening you to the joy of your own existence. The illumination for this card. I take time to celebrate who I am and what I am becoming. Each achievement is worth recognizing, for when I do, the possibilities of life open up to me. I take my time. I take time to celebrate who I am and what I am becoming. Each achievement is worth recognizing, for when I do, the possibilities of life open up to me. One more time. I take time to celebrate who I am and what I am becoming. Each achievement is worth recognizing, for when I do, the possibilities of life open up to me. That is infinite possibilities. 27, the high priestess and the chariot. And the chariot embodies so much. It embodies the moon, it embodies Mars. What else does it have? That's Chiron's energy. So, really centering yourself in those wounds, being the eye of the storm at any given cost, because it is for the highest purpose of self and for those involved or around, even if they are unaware at that present moment. This is what unconditional love is. The journey along that path may not be comfortable, but stepping out of your comfort zone guides you to your life purpose, guides you to all that is divine. Ashe Collective, thank you for being here. I appreciate your love, your likes, and I'll see you next time.